Hey guys, just got home from the gym and I've got a package that I've been waiting for like 2 months. So ScopeCam sent us an adapter. I contacted them and said, look, I've got this really cool new Cronus Athlon scope that I need to test. And we use a different adapter for my scope. And these guys were awesome. They said, we will send that out to you, just give us a shout out, try it, let us know how it works. So I want to open this up, take a look, guys. I've got big plans, big hopes for this thing, that this is going to be something that we can put on this Athlon scope and get our phone on there and start, testing it and do our review on the scope. But we need to also test and review this. Let's take a look at the ScopeCam adapter and see what it looks like. I'm excited. Okay, so in the package, the guys have sent me the case for my Samsung S23 Ultra. And then they've got the actual adapter here that is aluminum grade. And what we do is we just turn this outside ring and it's going to close that inner ring down on our scope. Right here on the neck of our scope. Alright, works with Gen 2 Universal Optic Adapter. So here we go. So on the back of the phone case, they've already got the magnetic sticker, and how that works is this piece is just going to go right over top of it. And then we can tighten down this. We line up this over whichever camera lens we want to use on our phone. Okay, so I did a bit of fiddling around and I checked the lenses. This is our 1x zoom, this is our 10x zoom, this one here is our 3x zoom, and this one is our ultra wide. And somebody already put a sticker on the back of this phone case. Maybe they all come like that, I don't know. It's crooked, but that doesn't matter because we can still make it reach. And I can reach the ultra wide, the 1x, and the 3x. But I can't reach the 10x with how they put this sticker on here. So I would not have put it that way. I would have put it to get these 3. So maybe I'm going to have to take that off. And they did give me another magnetic plate here that I can do that. Do we want to use a 10x zoom on a 60x spotting scope? Maybe not. Maybe there's a reason why they have that set up like that. So what we're going to do before we take anything off, we're just going to use it on the 1x and the 3x. I think the 3x is what I'm super interested in. Should be optically very clear. And we may introduce a lot of shake being that zoomed in on the scope. There already is at 60x just on a regular 1-to-1 lens. So if we put it on the 3x, it's going to introduce more shake. Maybe the 10x won't even be usable. Maybe that's why they've put that adapter plate on there in that position. They preset it up saying, hey, we won't let this guy mess it up. We're going to do it for him. I don't know. Let's just try it with what we got. We can do the 1 and the 3. Most importantly, I want to see how this thing, if it fits on this scope. That's the next step. Let's get it on this scope. Okay, so if you actually read the instructions, which I just dropped, it states clearly in here in the instructions, you want to use the 1-to-1 lens, which makes sense. But because we can reach that 3x, we will do some testing with that as well, okay? I'm not going to bother taking that plate off to reposition it for the 10 right now. Maybe later we will, but for now we'll try the 1, which is what you're supposed to use, according to the instructions, and then we'll try the 3 just to see what happens. I want to show you guys this ScopeCam adapter up close so you understand how it works. There is an arm that attaches to your phone, and there's 2 neodymium, some kind of rare earth, really strong magnets right there. There's going to be a plate that mounts onto your phone case, and there's 2 little knobs that are going to line up with that plate. I'll show you the plate right now. Here it is. Here's the metal plate, which mine came stuck to the phone case already, and as you can see, it's quite crooked. That's going to be an issue, and I'll show you why in a second. I don't know if they did that on purpose. Is it supposed to, according to them, go on crooked? I don't think so. In their own instruction manual, it shows that plate being on straight with the edge of the case. On the inside of the adapter, you guys will see there's just a set of arms made out of aluminum, airplane grade aluminum. And as we turn this outer ring, it's going to move those arms in or out, depending on which way you turn it, until they get small enough to clamp down on your eyepiece of your scope. Now, for some reason, the phone case that these guys sent me had the adapter, the magnetic metal adapter here, already on the case, and it's crooked. If you look, it's very crooked. Now, is there a reason why they do that? Did they do that on purpose? I don't know. Did they just figure, hey, we're sending Gary a free copy for evaluation. We got one of these extra cases lying around. Somebody already stuck that on. He'll figure it out. Send it to him. I don't know. If they set that on there crooked, guys, I'm going to tell you, it's a bit of an issue. Because when this clamps into the adapter, you've got to put the adapter on here. You should be able to put this on here separate. Okay? You should be able to just put this on your scope, tighten it down until it's, in a 90 position. This arm is sticking out so that your phone is going to sit perfectly 90. You can't film video like that. You can't film video like that. It's got to be perfect 90. So again, you're visually lining up a 90-degree angle. Now the problem is, I can't do that because this is crooked. So I have to adjust mine up to make it on a 90. So whatever guy at the shop put that on there for me, I'm not thanking you. You didn't do me any favors. So it's not a big deal, except that now I kind of have to do mine with this attached to the phone. And then it's kind of become a bit of an issue. Because what's happening is I have to have this on here with my phone, and I try to get it on here, and I try to get it set up so that this is on a 90. It's the only way I can tell that my phone is going to be in the position I want it in to record. The problem with that is I have then dropped my phone, knocked my phone off of here. These magnets are pretty strong. They are. But if you're messing around like this, I have dropped my phone 3 times trying to get it. And then I dropped the heavy aluminum grade aircraft adapter. It fell off after and almost smashed my phone. So, I do have a bit of a workaround that's kind of working. And remember, this eyepiece has a diopter that turns out. So it spins out to give you more eye relief. You need that all the way in when you're going to put a scope adapter on here. So what I do is I turn it all the way in. I just get this way up in the air. It doesn't matter where. Then I tighten it down. So now it's on there. So we're actually turning the diopter adjustment there now. So what I'm going to do is, it's tight, but it's still movable. So this is my workaround, guys. I know I've got it higher than a 90 degree. Now I put my phone on. Okay, and then I just pull the phone down, slide it down into the exact position that I want. So it's kind of a workaround. It took me, half an hour playing around with this to figure out what's the best way for me to do it. Once I do that, fine, it works. It's not as quick as my other magnetic system. I'm not going to say any names. This will work. Make sure you put that adapter on your phone case on a nice 90 degree along the edge of the case. Don't put it on crooked. So as I'm out here walking around with the scope testing the Athlon here, I am leaving the adapter on the end because I'm not in the woods. Guys, I would not recommend doing that when you're in the woods. It's like walking around with a fishing rod on your shoulder and having the lure just dangling behind you. If you've done that, if you're a fisherman, you know what's going to happen. Eventually, that hook is going to catch on something and you're going to lose all your lines spooled out behind you. In this case, that adapter is going to hit on a branch or something and end up lost in the woods. So don't be lazy. Take it off and reposition it. Unless you're walking on a road like I am right now, then it's okay. There's nothing for it to hit on. It's on there secure. It's not going to come off unless you hit it on something. But that is a possibility when you're walking through the woods. So don't leave it on there. I'm just being lazy. So that is I don't want to mention the other adapter that I have, but I kind of have to. I use the all-in system on the other camera, and that is the nice thing about it, is that the eyepiece is magnetic and it just stays in place, and I can do up the case and everything on top of it. So this one, because it has that arm for the phone, I can't do up the case and I can't leave this one on there. So that is a little bit of a detractor, but again, All-in doesn't make a system for this and many other scopes. So, you know, ScopeCam, it's a great freaking option. I wish that it fit on a monocular or a binocular, but it doesn't. Maybe they have a smaller model for that. I don't know. Chime in, Reggie. Do you guys have different sized eyepiece holders? Okay, so I just want to throw in a little bit about the ScopeCam adapter. Final thoughts on it. Guys, it works. It is allowing me to use this scope, which I couldn't do because there is no alternative. In terms of my other system, they don't make an adapter that goes on Athlon scopes. I don't know why, okay? So actually, the last thing I want to try, we're going to have to try with this because there was two things I was really looking forward to that this might be able to do, this system. One was attached to my night scope. Unfortunately, the eyepiece, the diameter is too small. This does not crank down small enough to fit on that. So it's not a flaw of the system, it just doesn't fit that camera. I was really looking forward to getting some 4K night footage. Can't do it. The second thing I want to do is set this up so that we can use the 3x lens and just see what happens, because that's what's going to set this system apart from my other magnetic system. Is you can't change the lens you use with the other system. Let's set this on the 3x lens and see, you know, does it work? Can we get footage with it? And if it does, I'm going to be even more impressed. Oh, yeah, it works. So that is a huge bonus to using the ScopeCam adapter, is you can move it to the other lenses. We are on 3x and we're zoomed in 60 times right there on the scope. And if we zoom all the way out here, so we're getting 20 times 3, which is 60 times. And then if we zoom it all the way in, we're getting 60 times 3, which is 180 times zoom on that leaf, which is out there probably 120 feet. So there we are, focused on that water drop in front of the leaf. So as we can see, it's not the sharpest image, but hey, we're in there. We're zoomed in 180 times. The 1x zoom on the camera and 60 times on the scope is where it's at. Much better quality of image. So, also to note with this Cronus G2 lens here, guys, this is going to get you a lot closer to wildlife than any 600mm lens that you go out and buy for your mirrorless camera. How do I know? Well, I own multiple 600mm lenses, and I've always tried and wanted to get closer. And the only way that I've been able to achieve that is through using scopes. So, although the dedicated lens for your mirrorless camera might be a little crisper, might be a little bit, better for videography and photography, the new phones have really closed the gap, guys. This Samsung S23 that I'm using, it does an amazing 4K image, and you put it on one of these scopes, it's not too far behind a $4,000 mirrorless camera setup, really. Now the lenses, again, guys, if you're buying a mirrorless 600mm lens, you're looking at $1,800 to $2,300. you can get this Athlon scope here for about $1,000. Yes, the quality is going to be just under what you're going to pay, but the price is going to be way under.